Hey everybody, welcome back to Love of the Game. I'm here with Hunter Shelton. Today we are actually not going to be on camera because we couldn't get together in person due to the coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19. Hope you guys are all inside, staying safe, making smart choices. We wish the best for everybody involved. However, please go make sure you guys follow us on all social media. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe down below, and we're going to hop right into the comment of the week. So, today, the Texans are trying to create a team of burners at the wide receiver position. Deshaun Watson would be better with a bunch of 4.3 40-time wide receivers. Will Fuller on one side, and let's say Henry Ruggs on the other. How do you game plan against a team like that with Deshaun Watson's escapability in the pocket? Hunter.
Well, the comment was talking about why the Texans traded away DeAndre Hopkins. And my response is, it's DeAndre Hopkins. This isn't just some Sammy Watkins. It's not just some random number one wide receiver. This is a consistently top 5 wide receiver in the game. He is a guy that you can go to on third down when you have to have a ball caught for a first down. This is the guy. And trading him away for what they traded him away for, I don't care what you're trying to build your team around. You don't just trade that guy away and don't get the full value out of him.
100%. And I think, how would you game plan against it? I think maybe I'd send a lot of 5-6 man pressures, force Deshaun Watson to scramble around and beat me deep at the same time. I think there's only one other quarterback in the NFL who can do that, and that's Patrick Mahomes. And, with the offensive line the way it is, just really trading away DeAndre Hopkins, I honestly do believe has really disrupted the young nucleus of players that they had there. And I think it's really going to be not good for their future long term. Another quarterback we're really excited about, though, is Tom Brady to the Buccaneers. Hunter, you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I know his contract was fantastic, getting $50 million guaranteed, but man, I don't really get the Buccaneers decision. I get that it's a team that needed a quarterback that could play well, not turn over the ball, and give them a chance to win, but I just don't see that team winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. I don't even see them winning the NFC anytime soon, to be completely honest.
I think there's a lot of competition in the NFC, but I think something that Brady has is kind of like the LeBron effect in football. You already hear there's more people who want to come join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that defense is really young. It has a lot of work. They were really high up in rushing defense last year. I believe they were the third best rushing defense. Now, against the pass, they were dead last. So if they can kind of get that defense fixed a little bit better, plus you have Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, an average offensive line. It's not amazing, but they can make stuff work. Maybe Tom Brady and the receivers will open up the run game a little bit. I think they have a shot here in the NFC. Now, you still got to beat the heavyweights. You still got to beat the Vikings. You still got to beat the Saints. You still got to beat the Packers. You still got to beat the 49ers. It's going to be really interesting to see if Tom Brady is able to do that down in Tampa Bay. It's going to be difficult. However, I think all those teams are still going to be easier to beat than the Kansas City Chiefs. And as much as I don't like to say that, they are the team to beat right now. They are the Super Bowl champions. They have Patrick Mahomes, who's the best quarterback in the league by far. It's going to be really fun to see what they do as a franchise. But I think right now going NFC is the best choice for Brady going forward if he wants to win Super Bowls. So we're going to talk about a couple more roster transactions that have happened throughout the week. We're just going to give you some of the ones that we find more notable. First off, with players who were released, there's Todd Gurley from the Rams, Christian Kirksey from the Browns, Malcolm Jenkins from the Eagles, Devontae Freeman from the Falcons, and there's a plethora of other trades too. Hunter, which one do you want to talk about?
I'm interested in the Eagles-Lions trade for Darius Slay. Lions sending the Eagles Darius Slay, the Eagles sending a third-round pick and a fifth-round pick. I'm confused on it because I think both teams, one, the Eagles paid more than they really needed to on the contract details for Darius Slay, and the Lions are getting less than they could for Darius Slay, in my opinion. I think that both teams are getting shorted on their end of the deal, which is weird, but that trade just I don't really get it fully.
I like the trade. They gave a third and a fifth for one of the best corners in the league.
How long is he going to be one of the best corners in the league?
How long does he have to? That defense has one of the best front sevens. You have Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Nigel Bradham. And that's just a few of their pieces. They have Derek Barnett, the young pick out of Missouri. They have a great front seven. They just have not been able to get out of third down. The problem is they can get teams into 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. Problem is on the back end, they're getting burnt. Their secondary can't cover. You give them somebody who can give that defense of line just 1 extra second to get to the quarterback, it's going to start causing problems again. And I think they can get back to being a factor in the NFC. Maybe they're another team to watch out for. Another trade that I personally liked was Stephon Diggs to the Bills. The Bills gave up a 1st-round pick, a 5th-round pick, and a 2021 6th-round pick for Stephon Diggs and a 7th-round pick in 2021 as well. I like this because it gives Josh Allen a number 1 go-to receiver. When you're drafting people, you're taking a shot on guys. Maybe this guy will work out. Maybe this guy will work out. And where they had to pick later in the draft, I think they knew they could give up a couple of late-round picks who might not contribute as much and their 1st-round pick and get somebody they know is going to be a playmaker. They know is going to make instant contributions to that team and hopefully put them over the hump. They might be able to take the AFC East over. Hunter, what do you think?
I hate giving a number 1 or 1st-round pick to a guy that's not 100% game-changing player. Stephon Diggs is not Tyreek Hill. Stephon Diggs is not Julio Jones. He is not a wide receiver that can just beat any corner in the league, any number 1 corner. He's not that guy. And if you have a 1st-round pick, doesn't matter where you are, you can pick a guy that is going to be top 5 in his position for years and years to come. And I think that the Bills didn't need to give that. I love getting Stephon Diggs, but I don't think they had to give a 1st-round pick for him.
I don't know. It's so hard with the way the leverage works. He's a young player, so you get to have him around for a while. I don't know. The only way we're really going to be able to tell is when the Bills take the field this year. Are Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs going to click, and are they going to set the NFL on fire, or is this thing going to bust? It's going to go in the trash can, and nobody's ever going to talk about it again.
Yeah, and like I said, I love getting Stephon Diggs. I just don't like the price tag.
It's an expensive price tag, and that's what you get, though, because you know what you're getting. There's no risk involved. You know what you're getting, and that's what's so valuable about the draft is you could get the next Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes wasn't drafted until the 10th pick. If we went back and redid that draft, if we went back and drafted out of everybody in the NFL, he would be the 1st pick. You don't know what you're getting. You have to hope that you can develop these guys. But when you trade your picks, you know exactly what you're getting, and I think you're always going to have to overpay just a little bit. Something else that we wanted to really talk about was some of the amazing signings that went out. There was Byron Jones to the Dolphins, Jimmy Graham to the Bears, Graham Glasgow to the Broncos, Jack Conklin to the Browns. Hunter, who was your favorite signing?
I really, really like Teddy Bridgewater to the Panthers. I think that's a fantastic situation for him because the Panthers have Christian McCaffrey, a guy that can bail Teddy Bridgewater out at any time, whether it's running the ball or catching the ball. He can make plays, and that takes some pressure off of Bridgewater, who hasn't had a full season of starting since he got hurt. So he's got to get back into that full starter mode. But I think the Panthers have a pretty good team around him, and I think that they have an opportunity to do well with a brand new head coach of the NFL.
I think it's going to be really cool to see what Teddy Bridgewater and Matt Rule can do. I love Matt Rule. I love everything he talks about. I love him at Baylor, really turning that team around. I think he wants a fresh start with his quarterback. They said the LSU's coach, what is his name? He was an offensive analyst for LSU this past year, who is now their offensive coordinator. Their careers overlapped when Teddy Bridgewater was with the Vikings. So it's going to be really cool to see what they can do. However, that means Cam Newton is out. Where does he go?
Man, I just don't know. I mean, I want to say New England, but to be honest, I'd rather see Jameis Winston with New England. But I mean, I think Cam Newton could do well in New England. He's just got to figure out how to truly be a throwing quarterback, because I know he's got size, but his running ability just doesn't stack up against guys like Lamar Jackson in the NFL. He's no longer that game-changing runner. So, but I think that Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniel can create a system that kind of eases the pressure on him and lets him do what he does best.
Yeah, I think Cam Newton would be a great fit in New England. I think, with the right coach and the right system, he could really get back to his, not MVP form, but he can get back to being one of the most prolific quarterbacks in the NFL. I think he was really one of the first guys to really be able to run well and throw well since Mike Vick. Maybe not so much running anymore because of his injuries. As entertaining as it would also be to watch Jameis Winston go to New England and throw 30 interceptions and watch Bill Belichick explode on the sideline because of it, I don't think Jameis Winston would fit there at all. I think.
But here's the thing: Jameis Winston has a great playmaking ability. If he can get in a system that eases the pressure on him, just as I was talking about with Cam Newton, eases the pressure, makes his decision making easier. I mean, look what Belichick did with Matt Castle. I mean, 11-5. I know he had Randy Moss, a wide receiver, but I mean, Matt Castle. You give Jameis Winston, a guy who threw 30 touchdowns this year, and bring him down to 10 picks. Now you're talking about a team that can really go far.
You're talking about over a 50% decrease in interceptions.
Oh yeah, completely. But Jameis Winston had no control this year. He had no real direction. Bill Belichick can give him a system that he knows he has these reads, and it's really easy to make those decisions.
I think it would be interesting to see what he does. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Patriots are going to do. They've publicly said they're not involved with Jameis Winston at this time, but I don't know. I mean, as of right now, I'm hearing they're going to stick with Jarrett Stidham. One other thing we're going to talk about, though, guys, is the franchise tags, and every single player on this list has been non-exclusive, which means if another team reaches out and wants to negotiate a deal with them, that's okay, but they have to pay the team that tagged them a first-round draft pick in compensation, and that is a big price that a lot of people are not willing to pay unless you are one player and your name is Dak Prescott and you play for the Dallas Cowboys. You are on an exclusive franchise tag, and you are not allowed to talk to anybody but the Dallas Cowboys. Hunter, what do you think that feels like to be Dak Prescott right now?
I think Dak Prescott feels like that he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, which he's not. I fully believe that he's not, but the Cowboys believe that Dak Prescott's their guy for years coming forward. I mean, until Dak Prescott retires, I think the Cowboys are going to stick with him. But, man, I just don't see Dak Prescott being the game changer that guys like Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes are. But I think he's going to get way too big of a deal when really Ezekiel Elliott is the one that's carrying that team.
Is it his time, though? Just if you're talking off of market value and, the quarterback position and, is it the Dak's up next kind of guy? Is that the approach you think Jerry Jones is taking? Or do you think they're saying, no, look, this is where we think you're at, and here's how you play. We don't think you deserve to be the top paid. How do you think Jerry Jones is navigating that?
Well, I don't think Jerry Jones is exactly the best owner in the NFL, and I think that he's going to pay Dak Prescott whatever it takes to keep him there. And I don't even see Dak Prescott in the top 5 in the NFL. I really don't. I mean, he's a guy that makes decent reads and can play decent enough for his running back to carry him through each game. But I mean, Jerry Jones is a confusing owner.
I actually like Jerry Jones. He completely owns the Dallas Cowboys. I believe he's the only person in the NFL to have 100% control of the company. He doesn't have any shares. He doesn't share it all. I think it's kind of interesting how he does his business. I think he's an underrated talent developer. Or not developer, but he's really good at evaluating talent in the draft. I think he has a really good draft history, and he's one of the few owners that is also actually a GM as well. And I think he's just interesting. It's some of the decisions he makes, a lot of people don't agree with, but some of the decisions he does make are really good. Obviously, drafting Dak Prescott, drafting Ezekiel Elliott, trading for Amari Cooper. I don't know. He's not an idiot by any means. But speaking of the draft, we're going to be doing our own mock draft. Hunter, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, me and Adam are going to go through, give you guys our first round mock draft, and we're also going to have fun with sitting down and actually breaking down film of the prospects we want to highlight so you guys can see exactly why we believe they deserve that spot in the draft and why teams might like them over other players, because as everyone knows, the draft isn't necessarily true talent going first. It's whatever a team needs, and we're going to look at those team needs and figure out who does that best.
Exactly. So it's going to be really cool to get the in-depth details, the X's and O's. We're going to go behind the scenes. We're going to give you guys as much information as possible. So I hope you guys really appreciate it. Speaking of appreciation, we want to give a shout out to Joey Anello and Gray Shot. Joey does a great job with the graphics, with the designs, with editing our videos. We can't think of enough. Gray Shot's doing a wonderful job with our social media. She's working really hard on it, and we're so thankful for the both of them. And we're thankful for everybody that watches. We're thankful for everybody that follows our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And make sure you guys subscribe down below. Thank you guys for watching.